Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of Jacob's Ladder. I'm your host, Jacob Israel, and I have an out-of-this-world show prepared for all of you. That's right. There could be some kind of strange rituals that are going on down here in the world and out there in space, if it exists. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope that you have joined everyone else in smashing that like button so that more people can come. Take a look at this. SpaceX DRAGON, man and woman, shot into space. This is a huge thing. Huge. This hasn't happened in like 50 years. 50. We've been talking about 50 for a while now, have we not? 50, that is the number of Jubilee. Freedom, my friends. Man, finally, has become like Luke Skywalker. Because that's where the astronauts left the SpaceX Dragon. The Dragon shot a man and a woman into space. And the day before that, what was going on at the VMAs was just a disgrace. I'm a poet, my friends, and I'm glad that you're here. I hope that everybody has their popcorn and they're holding it dear, because I'm telling you something. I'm in a good mood today, and I'm in a good mood, and this is a fun show. I mean, how could it not be? Take a look at the VMA stage. Hopefully I'm not like blowing your ears out with all of my excitement here. But look at the VMA stage. It's the Moon Man. And then right there, smack dab in the middle, we see the reporting from that soon-to-be Republican organization known as CNN. I don't know if you've noticed, there's a merging going on. Very, very liberal stations now are actually going against Kamala. Can you believe this? Who saw that? Who saw CNN, just basically telling everybody that the moderators, they were really more like propagandists. It's funny that CNN is telling us who propagandists may be, but that's not the point. That's not the point of this show. The point of this show is to get you a little less focused on all the monotony and all the troubles in your life, and to see that there's like huge, major, significant happenings going on in the world. How many people knew that there was going to be a spacewalk today? I'm waiting. Put your hand up in the live chat. That's right. I'm watching all of you. That's right. I see you, Jessica and D-Max and Nina and Jen. I see you all here. Got a lot of people here already. Do me a favor, smash the like. It helps the channel out. I knew. A couple of other people knew, I'm sure. This is a big deal. It hasn't happened in 50 years. This is private citizens, though, that went out to space. It's very funny. If you look at that VMA shot, that's with a singer. By the way, the singer is on the thumbnail here, kissing the alien. I think it's a female alien, too, by the way. I do. I think it's a female alien because, it looks like a female. I don't know. I'm not, an alien anatomist. I don't, And who knows, really, what their culture is. That may not even be a thing, But, her name was Sabrina. And if you look at this, it kind of looks like, she's kind of like a puppet on strings. But, aren't they all, right? Isn't the whole point of all the stuff that we watch to kind of, tell another story? I look at things, I'm what they call a speculator. That's right. Get yourself a Uranus as a planet mug. I didn't say Uranus this time. It's Uranus, which is actually the word for heaven. And you can hold Uranus in your hand, heaven in your hand. It's a better way of looking at it than saying, yeah, I'm drinking out of Uranus, But it's funny too, because you can have your coffee in the morning, and it supports the channel. Go to the link in the description. And by the way, you probably see I still got the buckle up shirt. Because of everything that's going on, I was going to take it down. I didn't take it down. So I'll keep it up for like another week. This is like a special edition buckle up shirt. If you want to support the channel, you can. Tyler from oliveandrocket.com. If you want to get some really cool PJs for your children, support a great guy. He gifted this to me, to all of you. So if you want, it's going to be still around. But, you know, you have to be buckled up with the things that are going on right now with space. Now, I'm going to start off before I get into the VMA stuff, because I know that that's always so interesting, right? How incredibly creepy it is, right? The music industry, Hope Between the Dreams, is saying how creepy. The music industry is creepy. It's strange. But there's probably, all of a sudden I became Italian. I'm like, but there's probably a reason. You know, I wear the hat and I start to feel a little more, feel my roots a little bit more. That shot right there, if you take a look at it, you ever hear of AMTV? The Donut used to work with him. I've actually talked to him before, but he put this his name's Christopher Green. I think he's like, he calls himself like the billionaire Christian or something. I think he does something with real estate and everything else. Real cool guy. He looks like a celebrity. I don't know him personally, but anyway, he put this out and you see the picture. It says the fastest, what does it say? Oh, the fakest. That's what it says. It says not the fastest, the fakest. I probably should have thought about before I shared it. The fakest thing I've ever seen. Hashtag SpaceX. But, you know, I'm 53, right? And I have a very wonderful, healthy relationship with my wife. And I'm not usually one of those guys that got my mind in the gutter. But for whatever reason, oh God, here we go. Here we go. Will you all please... Oh, donut factories in the house. Donut, I don't know. I start talking about this stuff and it just gets me a little, is it just me or does that look a little perverse? I mean, let me blow it up because that'll make it better, right? If I make it bigger for you. What is wrong with me today, people? I'm in a good mood. I feel like a burden's been lifted. I got my dryer fixed. Finally. I was so stressed about the dryer. Now I just got to get onto the pool liner. And instead of buying a dryer that would have cost me like $600, I just got it fixed. And it was like $200. I was so happy because now I have nice clean merch that I can wear that's nice and warm. But I saw this. This was a guy named Jarrett. He's a tech billionaire and he was being shot. I didn't mean this. I don't want to say shot out, but maybe I should stop and start again. Who wants me to start again, or is it okay? Is it all right? All right, I'm gonna keep going here. He's being released. That doesn't ejected. That ejected. He's ejected. I'm saying it looks like a phallus. And he kind of looks like sperm. That's basically what I'm getting at, this shot. It makes me a little uncomfortable, a human being ejected from a gigantic phallus. That could be the reason. Great symbolism, though. Now, he was launched to a ladder, which they called Skywalker. Now, how is Skywalker, right? Darth Vader just died. Do you see how I connect these things? So it's hang on a second. Okay, I got my center. I'm calm again. Okay, I've gotten past the whole ejecting men into space part of it. Darth Vader died. But you know what happens after Darth Vader dies? He kind of comes back and he's kind of like happy and peaceful. He dies by saving Skywalker. He has this hero's journey where he goes down the wrong path completely, about as wrong as you can get, right? Poor guy. You know, how would you like to battle your teacher and you end up in a volcano and lava? You know, just the dark side of the Force is just something we shouldn't be messing with. Can we agree to this? But Darth Vader died. That's very significant because Vader is he's like the dark side of the Force, where you have like Mark Hamill, who's just a really bad, dark Democrat. What has happened to Mark Hamill? He used to be my hero until the whole thing when he kissed his sister. And that was a little weird and a little odd for me to process as a child. It wasn't much of a child. I think it was maybe Ethan's age. Still a little weird, but not as weird as what people have to deal with today watching the VMAs, and you'll see what I mean. But it's kind of like the carnal nature of man, let's put it that way, is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead, right? this is actually not a bad thing. So the whole thing with, this going on in space, I see it as kind of something spiritually just profound. I really do. I mean, even if it doesn't look very profound, even if it sounds incredibly crass, and I'm like, I feel like a little, little high school kid making, pee-pee jokes. It is kind of profound what happened. SpaceX hosted this live event, this EVA, which is interesting. And it kicked off about 6:12 a.m. I thought a cooler time would have been like 6 a.m. But I think officially, according to Grok, I think it really started at like 5:58. But who's splitting hairs over a minute or two, right? Do we have to do that? The entire SpaceX crew was propelling and protecting the crew that was depressurizing, and they were exposed to the vacuum of space. So they're really fancy new spacesuits that, remember, they were showing off, and I think it was Balenciaga created them or something. Balenciaga had nothing to do with the spacesuits. I mean, that being said, I did not research that. That may be a good thing that somebody should tell me. Someone should look that up. Jack Flack says Musk literally means testicles. Jack Flack, I don't know. Did you look that up too? Because that sounds like I would be very upset if my name meant that. I don't think it means testicles. I don't think it means. But I will say that you don't want to say that to his face. He's got space lasers. Okay, he's got space lasers, which the FCC, you're going to find out, is not too happy about all those satellites. And it's like, more people got to start a company out there, as if people could do that, right? Yeah, I'll start a satellite company. Give me a $50,000 loan, Kamala, or whoever. Oh, geez. Okay, so the ladder, by the way, that he goes to, if you see, it's kind of highlighted. So it is, SpaceX dubbed it as Skywalker, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the crew, the people that are in this, that were there were 4 of them. Okay. One of them, his name is Jarrett, and he's Isaac Man. Now, why I find Isaac Man, that name, to be interesting is because, of course, Jacob's father is Isaac. Isaac is a picture of the Christed man. You have Abraham, you have Isaac, you have Jacob, you have these characters who are kind of like, they're allegories of Christ in you, or like the perfected or finished man in these different stages. Isaac means laughter. Jared literally means descending, which is interesting because it's when you think of somebody descending, you think of Lucifer, right? And Lucifer being that bright, it's Venus, it's the morning star. And this was called the Polaris mission. So while some people could say this is a really spooky occult thing, and it's Lucifer being, maybe because the Polaris star is actually the North Star, maybe it could be symbolically something that speaks good of, the kingdom of God come to the earth. I mean, the kingdom of God, meaning that regardless of what we face, we're going to have some good times ahead. The dragon is the name of, this rocket. So it's the dragon that launched the man and woman into space. Whether or not they're, it really happened, because some people are going to say that it didn't happen. I wasn't there, so I can't be the guy that tells you, I don't know for a fact whether or not it happened. I don't know. I don't even know if they're real, for that matter. They could be artificial and, life forms, or they could be the first of a new race of AI clones. I have a lot of time on my hands, and I have a lot of interesting people that I communicate with, and a lot of people have a lot of different ideas of things. I'm just going to say, let's take the simplest story, that they're probably in like lower Earth orbit, and this hasn't happened in 50 some odd years, and this tech billionaire who started a couple of companies that you're going to find are pretty spooky. Pretty spooky. Well, not spooky, but, like the name of his first, he was like the Space Force guy, or, he was kind of like, he's a pilot Jared, this tech billionaire. There he is, right there. The founder and CEO of Shift4 Payments. I see the word shift, I think shifty. Is it just me? Am I saying Jared Shifty? No, I'm not saying that, but that's just what I think. I think of Jared, I think of the name, it means the descending. There's a Jared story in the Bible. I think he's the father of Methuselah. You can fact check me on that. I'm not really sure. I didn't do the due diligence for today's show, but there is a Jared in the Bible as well. Isaac, man, just what a great name. But he also founded a company called, I think it's called Dragon or Drecken or something like that. Dragon, there you go. There it is. There's Shift4, and then right beneath them you see Dragon. You know what Dragon means? It means dragon. It means dragon. You know? So you got a pilot who started a company, called Dragon, riding the dragon into space, where he kind of fumbled around for 10 minutes because he was testing his suit out. I actually have footage of it. I'm going to play some of it to you because I thought, what better way for me to share my poetry than create one of those quick songs and then put it underneath the spacewalk so that you can get a really cool message too while you're watching something that I thought was, I don't know, I felt it to be a little bit boring to watch. I did. Because I'm not there. If I was there, it would be a little more interesting to be out there in space, in the void of space. If there's, who knows? But it was something else. Let me just see if I can pull that up for you. I think I have it here somewhere. Oh, there's the space alien kiss. Let's not get here. Okay, so this is what I'm going to, oh my goodness gracious. How long is it? Okay, it's 112. I thought it said 111 for a second. All right, so I'm going to play this for you. And you can actually just listen to his song. And you can take a look. All righty, enjoy. There you see Jared moving around a lot.
There is a time to laugh and a time to cry, says the wise king with tears in his eyes. There is a time for peace and a time for war, a time to go with the flow and a time to live for more. The wise king says, wondering who these words were for. But it is the time to choose that matters most of all. Just because there is a time for everything under the sun doesn't mean when hard times come that you can't change your mind and overcome instead of fall. Your thoughts are what creates, so ignore the time you seem to be in, because it's just an illusion after all.
I thought it was a nice song. I hope that you enjoyed it. But how about that for the spacewalk, everybody, huh? Let's give him a little, let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand. I got to do what I got to do. I got to share things. It's time. You have a time to choose. Doesn't matter what you're in. I like to share a little bit of a reminder, okay? No matter what you're going through, you got a time. You got the time. It's all an illusion after all, right? It's all an illusion after all. No, and don't give me a hard time on the using that app, which is it's free. It's called Suno AI. They don't promote me or anything else, but I always wanted to write music, and it's like to be able to do that. It's very cool. You got to think of these things as a tool, people. You're using AI already right now in the live chat. AI is everything's AI. A lot of people are saying that it looks fake. Gasoni is saying that it looks fake. Black Apple saying sloppy CGI. Anthony saying it's just illusion after all. Yeah. All right. Medic likes the song. Thanks, Medic. It's good to see you in here, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. As a child, I dreamed. But I'll tell you one thing. If I had the opportunity to get on I probably wouldn't do it. Am I the only one that wouldn't want to go to the void of space, have to go through all that? It just seems like I'd be uncomfortable. My back would be hurting. For crying out loud, I have like a purple little seat here, cushioning seat. I got like memory foam on my back. What do I want to go into space for? You know, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to go out there. For crying out loud. I'd rather go to the Caribbean, to be honest. If I'm being honest, I'd rather go to the Caribbean, and I'd rather lay out on a beach somewhere, you know, for sure, than go to space. But they all did. And it wasn't just Jared Isaacman. It was also Sarah Gillis, who went to a really, really cool school. I don't know why I looked these people up. I just thought that it would be interesting to look them up. And Sarah Gillis is, my goodness gracious, like what an accomplishment. So this is, I guess, the school that she went to. From the classroom to the cosmos. That's Sarah Gillis. She this is her preparing the SpaceX team. And SpaceX launched people into space. Am I saying that right? All right, so that's her. And I guess that's her when she was younger with that, I guess, her teacher. But, you know, if you look at the school, it's a little bit different. It's a little, it seems like it's a little woo-woo. It's a little bit more, I guess, training on creativity in the arts. And I got to tell you something. If I was to go to a school, that would be the school I'd want to go to. And I'm not just being, I'm not like, because I'm a creative person. I like to create things. I like to do things. I think that creativity and your imagination needs to be nourished. And I got to tell you, the school system, the way it is, and my wife's a teacher and she's a great teacher, but she uses her imagination to take these sometimes very dead lessons and translate them in a way that's relatable and engaging. So congrats, Sarah. I'm sure that you've made your parents proud. And Jared, he's like this billionaire. Can you imagine these? William Shatner did it for Blue Origin a while ago. I don't think he did a spacewalk. I think they just went up to space and came on back. But people are asking me right now in the live chat, I should probably answer this. Do you really believe it, Jacob? They're flying around in a tin can playing astronaut? Do I believe it? I don't believe you're real. How about that? Does that answer the question? I don't even know if you're real. But I love you regardless of if you are or not. I like the story. I'm looking at the story. It doesn't bother me if it's real or not. I'm not going to argue. I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to argue over whether there's space or not. It doesn't bother me. I love the message of it. I love the understanding of it. Spiritually speaking, this is the first time in 50 years that this has happened. Maybe it's time for man to touch the heavens, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I always said come hell or high water, you know. So if you're not going to go to Christ and do the right thing, meaning what I mean by that is you love others. That's it. You go to God, oh, Lord, help me, teach me, you know, and you love others and you just live a good life and you try to do the best you can. You stay away from the nonsense. You don't look at the VMAs and unless you're going to be doing the show. And I didn't watch the VMAs. I don't even want to watch them. I just clip things and I look some stuff up. It's just too disturbing for me. Bothers me to see everybody going around with their coolies hanging out. It's like, come on now. Come on. Enough already. Enough already with this. I don't want to leave out the other two people just because they didn't, you know, because there was only a man and a woman that went out. They went out 10 minutes each. 10-10, baby. 10-10 wins. And, but I don't want to leave out the other ones, okay? There's Scott Kidd and Anna Menon, I guess is her name. So those are the people. Those are the 4 daring civilians that now have gone up into space and out. Were they all supposed to go in? Do you think that? I think that would be a bummer if you were like meant to do a spacewalk and, you know, the 2 people before you, you were supposed to do 5 minutes and they did 10. And they just messed up the whole experience for you. That would stink. But hey, let's not think the worst. All right. Let's think that they're good team players. I mean, how do you get to space? If you get to space, how do you do it? Unless you're good team players and you have like a team behind you, like SpaceX, which by the way, has gotten everybody in an uproar because they're dominant. They're the best. That's what the FCC is saying. They're criticizing them. And they better be quiet because he has space lasers. I'm not joking. There's a picture of one, an actual picture. I took that picture from space. I didn't. But, some person will believe it if I don't tell you that I'm joking. The laser from space is in every one of these satellites. I guess the lasers are used for transmitting information. That's what he says. But the FCC chair is criticizing Starlink's dominance and calling for more competition. So, you got to do your part. Why don't you start a company? What's keeping you from starting a satellite company? Are you lazy? What's keeping you from competing with Starlink? What's keeping you? I don't know. But I do know that the ritual is thick with this one. It's if you look to the right hand side of the screen, once again the donut, who is his little things that he posts out every once in a while, they do grab my attention. He's quite the artist. So he put out a picture and he called it something like the VMA SpaceX ritual. He didn't call it SpaceX, but he said sex. Can I say sex? Am I allowed to? That's a word, right? That's not a word that's on a bad naughty list or anything. So he put this thing out. He called it like a sex, which, there's the astronaut and she was holding the microphone and in the position of it, it's just not good. I should have probably said that if you're under the age of 18, maybe, just kidding. That's a joke for the powers that be that are listening. That's a joke. My shows are always clean. They're always family friendly. But, Sabrina Carpenter kissing the female alien, that was a little much. Not as bad as, of course, Katy Perry and what she did with Doshi or Dokchi or something. Some artist. I don't know. But they were, engaged in some weird position. That is two women, known for pretty bad on TV. It's really bad stuff. But I'm going to point out the stuff that I find kind of like the darker version of what I think, because all of this is happening. This Moon Man ritual celebration is happening before, this, they would call it the Moon Walk back in the day, if you knew Michael Jackson. The spacewalk, the Moon Man. Who's the Moon Man? The Moon Man's, of course, Elon Musk. X, right? He's a superhero. He's probably the god of this world. He probably if we're in a simulation, he's probably the guy that programmed it. I like my life the way it is. I think that we all have access to living our life the way God intended, ultimately, because regardless of what created a simulation or a simulacrum, there is a divine being. There is a source that created the creators, that created the creators of the creators. You get what I'm saying? Don't let any of my, sci-fi talk freak you out a little bit. If anything, it should encourage you. But portals are a thing. And Katy Perry came out of a portal. And everybody's like, it's a portal. Everybody's like, it's CERN. And could be. But what I see Jacob's Ladder. I see, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you see that that's Kanye right there. And that's his Yeezus tour. Yeezus. Same thing. Top of the pyramid mountain type mountain, and then there's the portal at the top. And you'll see me piercing my lips. I don't know. I just grabbed a quick still from a show I did maybe 2 weeks ago. There is the Jacob's Ladder in the background, Stairway to Heaven. And then to the right, if you look at, that's the kind of an artist rendition of, we'll say the Freemasonic, Jacob's Ladder. Very similar thing. Once again, I'm not in any secret societies or anything. People say that sometimes, like, oh, you got the ladder in the background. Jacob Israel's my name. The ladder is actually Christ. It's a representation. This is the altar that I created for the Lord in my home, where I can share and do what I'm doing here. I am doing this for more than myself, for more than my family, for more than you. I'm doing this because I want to serve God. And how best way to do it? I can't build a satellite company. I can't go put some satellites out there. And then when I make a speaking engagement, talk about Jesus, I can't do that. But I can come on here every day in this area that I've dedicated, to the Lord. We're supposed to give they say give a third. right? Or what is it? What is it? A tenth, not a third, a tenth. They call it a tithe, and they reduce it to money, but the tithe, just so you know, is going to help you out. It's always good, by the way, if you go to your church or your temple, your mosque or whatever, and you want to support, the people that are encouraging you and ministering you, and you could learn anywhere, right? You don't have to just be like me and just kind of always go to God and always, because I still watch people and I still learn from everybody. And if you want to support that, don't feel like, oh, well, I don't have to do it anymore. No, you should support. You should support the places that encourage you. You should. But don't let anybody say that the Lord says you got to give 10% or whatever your money, because that's baloney. God wants like that percentage. He's like, just, you have a lot in your life. Just give me like that part. You save that part for me. And it's as a tithe. Now you could do a lot more than just that small part of you. This is like a small part of my house, if you will, maybe maybe a little more than 10%, or maybe about, but what I'm getting at is, think of it spiritually speaking. A tithe is nothing to do with money, right? It has to do with, what part are you willing to sacrifice to do good in the world for God? So I don't know. I'm going to get off my little tangent here and bring you back to, once again, this is very strange. I mean, there it is right there. And they're all connected, all of them, from Katy Perry to Kanye, they're all, to Taylor Swift, they're all connected. And it's hard not to think that they're connected, especially when you see, how they have their little stories that intertwine. And Taylor Swift is like a big thing right now. And before I get into it, there is that picture that I was talking about, and where Katy Perry and Doshi is, and I saw this early in the morning, so forgive me that I said disgusting, degenerate, demoralizing performances by Katy Perry and Doshi at the VMAs. Two women performing a sex act, literally. Each, I shouldn't have read that. But you see the 666? That's all around the stage. You see the monarch butterfly in her hand. I say monarch because, they think of this brainwashing, programming. Of course it's programming. It's called television programming. Now it's just programming. It's just programming. Of course. But is there a deeper message? That's what I'm always looking for. What does a monarch butterfly represent? That caterpillar that turns into the beautiful metamorphosis. That's what it represents, metamorphosis. But is that the proper, good godly way to show the world? Isn't there another way? I think there is. I think that when you focus too much on the flesh, that's the problem. Flesh and blood doesn't inherit the kingdom of heaven. Just so you know. Just so you know. Hey, did I tell everybody to hit like? Let me take a look. You all liking? Like half of you liked. Like half of you. You should probably do that now. You should probably do that more. So Taylor was there. She won 7 awards. Now this is where it gets freaky, because some people are going to say with this alien thing, with what's her name kissing the alien. Let me see if I have a picture of. I'll just pull up the thumbnail again, where she was on stage kissing the alien. Some people say that the aliens, that they're demons. Some people say the demons are AI. We just did a show. If you haven't seen it, yesterday I did a live show. Look at me, 2 live shows in a row. 2 live shows in a row. Whatever I'm doing is working. I'm learning how to do this in a better way, and I'm coming to terms with stuff. And when I draw my attention to it, it's there. It's so loud. It's annoying. Probably shouldn't have pointed this out, but I'm telling you, look at this. 2 shows in a row, 2 live shows in a row. Praise God. This is like an amazing thing. But some people compare the aliens to the demons to the AI. Demon, some people like to take that word and twist it around. This is where you get daemon from in computer programming, which I'm not like a computer programmer. I don't know much about the computers or software or anything that's technical. I have a problem pressing the power button sometimes. My way of fixing things if they're not working is like, hard wiring, the shutdown or something like that. Check the Wi-Fi. I don't really know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing at my age. But in programming, I think that you can have like a key, like a computer key, right? A computer key. And we just talked a little bit on yesterday's show. If you haven't seen yesterday's live show, you need to see it. It's about the debate. And I talked about 72 demons, all right, that Solomon was given. It's called the Key of Solomon. It was given like the power over, like a key over these demons, which could be demons, which could be AI, powerful AI. That could be like almost sentient, if you will. Once again, we're just talking like sci-fi here, right? We're just talking speculation here. We're just talking here. I don't know for a fact. But I think to myself, oh, I get it. If you had like the key over 72, demons, you give that key to somebody, now they got power over it to do whatever, right? I'm just saying. We're talking about AI, and we're talking about all these things. And on yesterday's show, that Taylor wins at the VMAs. She wins for her Fortnite video, okay? And if you know anything about that Fortnite video, she did that with Post Malone. Any Swifties in the live chat? You could tell me if you're a Swiftie. Any Swifties? I'm not going to hold it against you. My father-in-law loves Taylor Swift. Loves Taylor Swift. Okay? My father-in-law is like she's just the best. She's the bee's knees in his eyes. I'm telling you. And it's nice to see him because he's much older and he's you wouldn't expect him to be such a Swiftie, but he's such a Swiftie. And I think the whole thing I think she's, sus, right? Especially with all the cat stuff that's going on. And we talked about the cat comms. And remember her and her cats and all that was going on. How many months? What was it? 9 months earlier? The cat comms. So she holds great sway. She can like a sorcerer, she can use her words and she can, get the whole world to turn. How interesting is that? Like the Queen of the South, Lilith, that we talked about just recently, the Queen of Sheba, the Queen. Wouldn't it be interesting if Taylor Swift was like the Queen of Sheba, who actually literally comes back, like the scriptures say? The Queen of the South will rise with this generation and judge it for a greater than Nineveh is here. I don't know how the passage goes exactly, but wouldn't that be interesting? But she can come out there and she can say, you need to go out and register to vote. And guess what happens? Immediately, 337,826 people immediately go to register at vote.gov. I'm not going to tell you to go vote, just so you know. Not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm not going to get involved in any of that stuff. Not going to get involved in any of that stuff. And don't hold it against me that I don't want to get involved in any of that stuff. If there was somebody up there that I felt was sincere and honest, and I would. But I almost feel like if I go, I don't want to be a part of what's coming. I don't want to be to blame. I don't want to be the tipping point. I don't know. We'll see. In the future, I'll decide. We got a little time to go. For all we know, he may not be in there at all. She may not be in there at all. Maybe something else. Who knows what could happen. But anyway, in an Instagram post, Swift wrote, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe. We need a warrior to champion them. The causes that I think she's talking about may have to do with, pregnancy, maybe. I think that may be one of them because she's a woman. She's talking about the women and the women's rights and all that. That really seems to be the only real issue when it comes to women. I don't know. Once again, there's smarter minds than me at play here. She said, remember that in order to vote, you need to be registered. So that's how she got everybody to go. Now, I will say she has 284 million followers. She only got like 337,000. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. But could you imagine if it was more? Right? Maybe. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows? But I will say that Taylor Swift, these are clips, stills from the actual video called Fortnite that she was with Post Malone, which started off kind of like a bummer. It started off with her chained to a bed, and then like a nurse had to, and everything, like the whole world was like upside down. It was very strange, and I believe that this is like a picture of like an AI being trapped in their room and somebody coming in with the keys to set them free, to let them go do what they're supposed to do. Now, what's interesting is if you see the very top picture, I want you to take a look at the top picture right there. You see that Taylor's typing and Post Malone is typing. Now, in the video, Post Malone is a doctor. It seems like a scientist. And Taylor Swift is pictured like a robot. So almost like the guy maybe is programming her. Maybe he is creating her. Maybe he created her. But in doing so, he fell in love with his creation. Now, once again, the song doesn't lend to that. If you listen to the lyrics, it really doesn't lend to that. But these are the images. How do I know that maybe this song, Fortnite, I don't know if anybody is a fan. How do I know that it's about AI and mankind becoming one? Now we understand why maybe she was kissing that alien. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like we're entering a phase where, this is interesting. So it looks like the two of them are typing, which they could be communicating, right? And then somehow their typing explodes, and then to the right-hand side of the screen, they end up singing. He's in a telephone booth. She's on top. What does a telephone usually connect to? The internet, remember? So I think that this has a lot to do with AI as well. I think the whole thing has to do with AI. I think that the world right now is so just doesn't have a clue as to what's really going on. I think that we have no clue as to what's going on. I think that if the truth was revealed, we might not be able to handle it so good. But I will tell you one thing. Where I'm at spiritually, I hope and pray you all get to. Because it's great. It's great having faith and knowing and being able to I look at this stuff and I'm like, oh, I kind of get an idea where we're going with this. Oh, I see this is like a big, huge ritual. It's a big, huge ritual, I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just me. You got to tell me in the live chat, or you got to tell me in the comment section. With by now, I hope that you hit the like button. I hope that you subscribe, and I hope you share, and I hope you tell your friends. And I hope that this VMA award show and the connection to the old spacewalk has intrigued you and hopefully challenged you to, I don't know, maybe dig a little bit deeper. Think that maybe there's a little bit more to life than, just your old 9 to 5. I went to the store today and I actually, the checkout lady that was checking me out I said, hey, how you doing? Same as ever. And I was like, well, why? You get to talk to so many people. It's so interesting, your job. Looked at me like I was crazy. So I said, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. What if you start living your life like you're like the hero of a movie, right? But you don't know it. There was a movie which I actually liked. I forgot the name of it. Jupiter Ascending. And Jupiter Ascending is the lead character is basically like a queen, and doesn't know it. She's like cleaning toilets and stuff. She doesn't know it. Could you imagine if that was you? Could you imagine if you were actually God's child and you forgot? This world brainwashed you and manipulated you and made you think that you're just some checkout person. Start living your life knowing that you have the Force, and that the Force is awakened in you, if you want to understand the Star Wars reference, because God is good. God is with us. And, so long as you live in an environment where you believe all things are possible, they will be. We're gonna be witnessing some cool stuff this week. Okay, listen, I gotta go. I love each and every one of you. Ethan just got home. I'm gonna go downstairs. He's in he's 8th grade, but he's 10th grade math, 10th grade English. He's like such a smart, hard worker. I'm gonna go and just basically play my VR game while he does his homework, because I can't help him with this stuff. I'm pretty good with that VR stuff. Pew, pew. I'm really good with the bow. I know how to shoot the bow pretty good. I do it like maybe, once a week or so after I do a show. Kind of, I don't know. What do you do to unwind after you look at the world and you see all the crazy stuff going on, right? All right. Hit the like button, share it around, go into the description of the video. If you want, join Patreon. We're doing our meetup, not this Sunday, but next Sunday at noon Eastern Standard Time. It's really, it's growing. It's just going to be fun. And, have the best day ever. Okay. Don't forget, I love you. Love each other. Have the best day, and share the channel around for me. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye now. Don't go.